Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining me today. I am Dissonance Gaming, and we are here to start our new Let's Play experiment with a game called Foundation. Now, this game is still in its early access, so it is still under development, but it is something I have been eyeing for a while. They've come out with a good number of updates, and I wanted to return to it and give it a try. So, come and join me as we experiment in this new game, and we will see where things go and how they go. I have only played a couple hours of this game myself, so we will kind of be learning together, just enough to get down the controls and everything. We are going to, we'll play on the Hills map and see how things go. If you have not heard about Foundation yet, it is a medieval-style city-building game, so naturally we have a number of resources that we will have to manage. Those will be added up in the upper left-hand corner, as well as our population and housing and all sorts of things. But before we get started, this isn't meant to be a tips or tricks or guide or anything like that. This is just going to be an experimental Let's Play where you can watch me go through this and we can go through it together. I will talk about a number of things that are important as we go along, but I'll really only address them as we need to. First up, one of the most important things at the beginning of the game is taking a little time to look around at the resources available. We are going to need, in our first tile, both berries, right here, and stone available, as well as trees, but you can see that's not going to be an issue here at all. So we'll take a look at the available tiles at the beginning, and berries in particular are going to be helpful. So if we can get a few tiles near each other with berries, like these three right here, then that's actually going to be an excellent place to start, and we have access to plenty of stone as well, which is nice. The only other thing I want to take a look out for is there was iron in this game, and I just want to make sure it's still here since I last taken a look at it. So we're going to look around, see if there's an iron deposit anywhere. So I've gone around and looked. I don't see any iron directly on the map, so I might have just missed an update. That's entirely possible. I'll have to go back and check that out. I'm doing my best not to look things up just because I want to enjoy this game. It's rare that you get to enjoy a game without knowing things about it first, and I'm trying to maintain that experience for myself. As I mentioned, I've just played enough to kind of get a handle on the controls so you don't have to watch me fumble around. But I think we'll be starting right here. It'll give us access to plenty of berries, stone, and wood right in the beginning of the game. So we're just going to claim this land, and the first thing we need to do is put down our village center. And let's go ahead and put that right down over here. Alright, now we have all of our little population here. This is kind of what you begin the game with. So we have 8 villagers, flying around, 8 villages that are going to be working for us, and these guys are going to need some jobs, things to do to keep them busy, and we'll also have to get them some food and shelter, so let's get started. Over here on the left we have some quests. As soon as I start the game time, those will start filling in, and they have a new system where it provides you a little guide to get through the early game. So if you're trying this game out for yourself, I recommend you follow this. At least for the early game, it will kind of set you up so you have everything that you need. Now that I've built this, we should have some options here. Builder's Workshop, excellent. Now we can click on this building, and right here we have the option to assign available villagers, people without jobs, to become builders. Now it's time to get some resources. Of course, food is going to be a top priority, so we will go ahead and build a gathering hut out here by the berries. And we're going to need plenty of wood as well. So here's a small lumber camp to get us started. And if we can just find a nice spot, well, maybe behind the builders is fine. Plenty of trees. And we might as well get the stone cutters going as well. Okay, since we clicked the start construction, you can see our builders are going to start bringing resources over and constructing these little camps. Both the lumber and stonecutter, as well as our gathering hut off in the distance. Let's speed this up just a touch and we'll get these buildings constructed. Once the camp is complete, we can go ahead and assign some free villagers. I'm just going to do one per camp because we are going to run out of villagers. And another villager out there at our gathering hut. Oh, one thing I've forgotten to do here is they have a unique system here where you paint development zones. One of the first things we need is extraction. This will tell villagers where they can gather resources from. Alright, so I just kind of paint right here. That's going to allow them to access the stone. And we're going to extend this area here for the trees as well. Get that tree out there. And I really love this system, how you can just paint it in exactly where you want them to be able to work. This is the only places they will gather resources from now. And we can take a look around, just make sure we have everything included that we want. And the game goes on. Now our stonecutter is busy working. They have access to stone. Our lumber workers will continue working once they're to that part of the day. And same thing with our gatherers as well. Now that we have all these camps up, we can see our quests. I have already gone through and checked most things off. Produce berries. So this guy needs to get some berries here. And then that should complete this quest. And as you can see in the log here, all of these quests popped up, but I kind of just did them right away since I know we're going to need these things anyway. Have the builder's workshop, lumber camp, gathering hut, etc., etc. Make a village center, of course we did that. Extraction available. And then quest completed, assign a new builder. Quest completed, place a lumber camp. Quest completed, assign a woodcutter. So you can see all these quests up here have been coming in. I've just been completing them because I know we're going to need this stuff in the early game. Produce berries. It looks like our berry gatherer is off to work. That should complete that quest for us. Already have 10 berries, so I don't know why that hasn't checked off. Anyway, we're going to move on to the next thing. More public buildings. We have the Granary, which we are going to add. This will allow us to store food for our villagers. So let's go ahead and add that right. Which side do we want it on, actually? I just hate to take those trees down that we're going to need to cut anyway, so let's go ahead and add it on this side. Nice and close to the town center. You can see this is everything that it's going to take to build it, so we need 15 wood and 5 stone, as well as the gold that I had to pay, and some time spent by a builder in order to actually construct it. Since we have the time, let's go ahead and add another villager. Food is going to be very important to us. Got to be able to feed everyone. I believe we have a villager list down here. We can see all of our villagers and their jobs. As they work the same job for a while, they will gain experience and eventually level up in that position, which is kind of a neat feature. And as you can see, we have currently 2 unemployed villagers left, which is just fine. We're going to need 1 to work the granary, and we have other jobs coming down as well. Speaking of as well, why don't we go ahead and add a well? And this well will help take care of some of our villagers' needs. Of course, they need water. Put this right in here. This will help the well-being of our villagers. And it looks very well done as well. Taking a look up here, what other buildings do we not have yet? We have the lumber camp, gathering, granary, well, stone cutter, forest, and sawmill will be coming up soon. So the forester camp allows us to replant trees. In the beginning of the game, you have more than enough trees to cut down, so you don't necessarily need it. We will need a sawmill, though, in order to make some planks. That's going to be important to us not too long from now, so let's go ahead and get this down. And we'll put it out right by the woodcutter's camp, I think. So we'll kind of have a small workstation area back here, and that's just fine. Now, what is holding up this granary? Ah, we need more stone. Why don't we go ahead and... Oh, I never assigned a villager. How silly of me. Let's go ahead and put 2 on the stone for now. Get us caught up with our stone and allow the production of our granary here. We're doing fine with food, tools, wood. All is well. And I just love the scenery of this game. It's nice to come out. Other people will come from like far off kingdoms, so occasionally off on the edge of the maps here, people will come in, wander through. They might send envoys or something like that to come visit our village, and that is actually how we can gain population, is some people will immigrate here from other areas, from beyond the border. Excellent, so our well is completed. That took some stone. Now hopefully the next stone goes to our granary. We could even pause this because we don't necessarily need planks quite yet. The granary is going to be more important. Produce berries. I'm not sure why we still don't have berries here. We do have 2 villagers assigned. It is entirely possible that they'd need to be stored in the granary to register for that quest, so we'll see once we finish this up. Our stone cutters are going to town over there. And our granary is complete. Now, we do need to assign a villager to transport materials here, and the reason I can't click it and add somebody right now is because we have nobody who's unemployed, so we are going to have to take people off of other jobs. Right now we have, let's see, 1 woodcutter. We do have 2 stone cutters, so we can take someone from there, and we will move them over to the granary. Now this will allow us to store food and hopefully complete this quest here, as berries will actually be stored for the village in this area. Oh, is this why we're not producing? Did I not put an extraction zone? I did not. See, that's the one thing you have to remember. You got to put extraction zones over the resources so that villagers will actually go collect it. There we are. I thought because we had the berries that we were collecting them. There we go. Our next thing to do was to build a granary anyway, so this is fine. And we have assigned a transporter, someone who works for the granary. Now we can store resources, but we have to assign those resources. So slot 1 here is unused. We can go ahead, click that, and it'll allow us to store berries there. Our transporter will begin moving berries into our granary. And now we can store plenty of food for our villagers to use over time. Taking a look at our quests, we do need to build a market now, and then assign a market tender. So as I come down here, we don't have any market option, but on the left, if you come to monuments, there it is. So we're going to build a market, and this is somebody who's actually going to sell resources to our villagers. So I think we're going to put it right next to the granary. And right by our village center. Food stall, nice and easy. And let's go ahead and we'll rotate this a little bit. Make sure we have it positioned somehow that we want. I think this looks nice, right on the edge. We could put something decorative up, but let's see. Ooh, this is going to cost quite a bit, so maybe we'll skip that. And some other decorative items here, but they're going to cost planks. We have not gotten our sawmill up and running yet, so we'll just leave this as a nice, simple food stand. Okay, now I had paused this earlier, the sawmill, because I didn't want our stone going here yet. We're going to unpause that now that we could actually use the planks. Let's check our extraction zones here. So we are starting to run low on trees. Now, it's a little hard to tell the range on this, but I might be able to extend this extraction zone out here to gather up these trees. Hopefully they'll be able to go out and reach. Of course, I can only get things in my zone, but I do have this down in the lower corner as well, so not a problem yet. Sawmill is complete, so some of this wood will be converted to planks, which we can use to decorate our town and to make some new, more advanced structures. So we have the well, we have the market now. I do need a market tender. Let's take care of that. Oh, we still have 3 builders. So we do not have that many construction projects going on now at once. Let's go ahead and pull 2 people off there. We'll assign 1 to the market. We have 2 on gathering. And I think we're a little low on stone, so let's go ahead and put our extra person there now. At the beginning of the game, you have a lot of jobs that need to be completed in order to grow your village, so it does take a little bit of shuffling people around to get all the jobs done. Let's just slow it down for a moment. We can watch some of our villagers going about their daily routines. Oh, something I forgot to mention is you can see how the paths are created by the villagers actually walking to wherever it is they need to be. So since we have this job way out here, and we have people walking to it, this path forms naturally as they go up and down. All the other areas are pretty close, but you can see the same thing happening here as they head to their workstations. Now, let's see, I did assign a food tender, but something I forgot to do is you do have to come to market unused, and you have to select the item that you want them to sell, so we're going to select berries. Now they will take the extra berries, and they will sell it to the villagers. So this is a way for your community to make a little bit of money, as well as to get some of your goods out. Oh no, what have I done? I've completely built this the wrong way. We can't have that. We're going to take this down and rebuild. So let's go ahead and rebuild that. Monument, market, rotate. These things happen, and let's just make sure, yeah. Start construction. Now we have this facing in a aesthetically pleasing direction. So we will let them get that built. We will reassign the market tender and to get those berries selling again. Okay, just waiting on a little bit more build time. And there we are. Good. Now, I never unassigned her really from being a market tender, so she's still there. And we will just make sure that we select the berries. The granary will supply the market. So our market tender will grab the extra berries from the granary, put them here, and sell them to the villagers. And now, they're going up and getting their fill of berries, so that they can be full and happy. Now that they are having access to those berries, they can purchase that food that will raise their happiness, and we can see the global happiness of the village is increasing. Right now, because we've lived such a hard life, we have these 8 folks who just were plopped in the middle of nowhere and had nothing. They're very happy just having these berries. Over time, though, as they get more comfortable with their lives, they will start desiring new things. So we have our primary needs, which right now are pretty much water, and then they want food as well. And eventually we'll get to services, but for now, We have increased our happiness to 100, and 2 people are on their way to join our village now. They have heard of our great splendor. Oh, I do need to come up with a name for this village. It might just be something simple like the DG Kingdom. I didn't mean for it to be this way, but dissonance is a little bit of a darker term, so dissonance Kingdom isn't exactly the happiest place, but, you know, our folks are happy here. Now, over time, I do need to plan where I will have people living, and we will probably relocate the lumber camp, actually. I generally want that off to the side because it's not going to fit in very well with our like town square and things of that nature, so we'll move that when we get there. And let's take a look at the map. So we have those people, those 2 new people coming to our village, and if we look around, we might be able to spot them coming in from somewhere beyond the world border. As the oh, there they are. And you can see just this faint line. So this is actually where they came from. Off in this direction, it looks like. We kind of lose it in here, but it was somewhere off of this way. And they're zipping right across to our village to come join us. And I think it was 2 if we look carefully. Yep, they're just kind of overlapping a little bit, but we do have 2 new people coming to join our little village. So welcome. If we click on them, if we click on them, if we click on them, if we click, can you slow down? My goodness. Okay, if we click on them, we can get more information about who they are, how old they are. They're both newcomers to our new little village, and of course need water and food, and they are both unemployed, so they're going to need some jobs. Fortunately, we have plenty of jobs available in our village. Right now, we've had to spread everyone around, but as you can see, each of these gathering huts, for instance, can have 3 workers. The stonecutter, I believe, can have 5. Yep, 5 miners. Woodcutters can have 3, and so on and so forth. So we have plenty of jobs available. Right now, we have like 1, sometimes 2 people on a job. Now, I have this paused just for a moment. Let's take a look around and kind of map out where we want things to be. So I'm thinking of working in districts. We'll kind of have an industrial zone, which will be our lumber and stone, ideally. Then we're going to have some farmlands, and then we will have more of a village center with some of the more important town services. So if we're looking at industry, though, this is 1 set of stone, right? I mean, this is probably, these 2 tiles here are probably a good area for industry. We have multiple stone available in the area, and we could keep foresting up here. So I might move the lumber camp up on this side, actually. And once we buy kind of like these 4 tiles, we'll have access to plenty of wood and stone for the industrial business there. Which means we could move off this way. See, the thing is, down in these hills is also kind of a nice area for farmland as well. So maybe we do like industry, farmland way out here, and then do we put a town up here and kind of make a triangle between the 3? That might be the way to do it. If we go this way, it's just so like mountainous and hilly in this direction. It's not too bad. This game doesn't care about hills all that much, but I think it will look a little bit nicer. Yeah, maybe kind of in here we'll actually build our town. Okay, alright, so this is kind of coming together. So we'll kind of look at like industry out here, farmlands on this lower, more level area down at the bottom. And then we'll just have to build our town around these two big hills / mountains. But that shouldn't be a problem. Yeah, this is lots of space for a nice little town in here. So we'll have to keep that in mind. We're actually going to be expanding off in this direction here where our travelers came from. Very good. All right, so let's continue with that in mind. I think the next tile we're going to want to purchase is out here, and maybe even one more in this direction after that, and we can begin some farms. Of course, we will have to build a little village area in between, and we are going to need some homes out here near those jobs, so of course people can live near where they work. So this is all going to work out for us quite well. We might purchase one tile here just for forest as well. Things to think about. Alright, let's continue. Enough planning. Alright, we have a couple new... Oh. The kingdom recognizes your efforts in establishing your settlement. I am but your humble servant. So we gain a little bit of military influence, I believe that is. And worker influence. And we have the ability to unlock a couple of new important buildings. And our new residential zone is available, so this is how we start getting houses, which is very important. Now, I have a ton of quests and things coming in, so let's take a look at all of this. 4 villagers lack space for housing. My goodness, alright. All sorts of problems all of a sudden. Alright, so taking a look here, we have a number of things that have just been unlocked. And I believe if we come up to the estates... Yeah, so these are going to be different buildings that we can unlock along the way. We are still in this like newcomer tier here. We have 10 newcomers, which unlocks for us warehouse and a bailiff office. Okay, and in order to get that, we're going to have to use some of this labor or worker like influence that we have. And the warehouse is actually going to be very important. Right now we have +0 per week. I actually don't know how to get more of that, but we will learn that along the way. Let's go ahead and unlock the warehouse, and it adds it to our buildings over here that we can construct. I know that one is going to be important for us in a little bit. If we come down to our monuments, we have a couple new ones. We have the Rustic Church and the Lord Manor. We're going to take a look at our quests here. And up at the top, we have the Lord Manor that we need to construct as part of this quest. So let's go ahead and knock that out. Now, as I mentioned, this is going to be kind of an industrial zone down here. So I want to build a little bit away from this and up towards this village center. So I think we're going to put it out on this side. Select our Lord Manor. And this is kind of a unique building because you build it in multiple parts. So I have selected the center. And we're going to start with the core. Maybe we'll build it in that kind of direction. We're going to need a door as well. And you can see each section that you construct is going to cost more gold, it's going to cost more maintenance, it's going to cost more resources, planks and stone, but it will give us more splendor every minute, which is going to be important in growing some of our influence. Okay, we are just going to build one extension for now. I do believe I can come back and add to this. This is kind of like a little shed. We can either attach it if we want, or just kind of have it floating out here. I'm going to attach it for now. Or do I want it floating? Let's have it floating. We're going to have a little floating shed in the back here. Okay, so I've just put a couple pieces down. This is not a huge Lord's Manor, but that's fine. It is more than enough for us to begin with. Now, it is going to cost 21 planks and 13 stone to construct initially, based on what I have chosen, as well as it's going to cost us 8 gold per week to maintain. Okay, but it does have a door to enter. Great. No upfront cost. Excellent. And we might need to check out our sawmill and get that going. We might not have actually put anyone in there. Planks aren't that important in the early game, but we are going to start needing them soon. So we have all that construction down. Our builders will get to work on that. And if we come check out the sawmill, we have no one working. So we have a backlog of wood. We're going to go ahead and assign 2 villagers to the sawmill and start making planks. That will allow us to build up the Lord Manor as well as some other new buildings that will be coming in. Once the manor is built, we can start assigning different things to parts of the manor. That core that I built can be turned into a great hall. And I believe at the start of the month, promote a villager to serf. So I believe once we have this in, we'll have that ability unlocked to promote some of our villagers. This will make them a little bit more advanced, but it will also increase their needs, so we do have to be careful about how often we are promoting people. Ah, and I'm just loving the look of this. I mean, look how much busier this is. We got everyone working, all sorts of different jobs cropping up. And this is going to be our first real, like, large estate. It's going to be very nice. And if we take a look around, I think this is the next tile we're going to purchase. And then we might head up off in this direction, this area, to start our little town. And we'll get some farms in here along the way. This section will probably be both industrial with the stone, some woods here, but we might even be able to get one of our first farms up at the top of this tile, depending on how big it is. Let's go ahead and speed things up to maximum speed. It does take a while to move things in this game. But that's okay. We're enjoying it all along the way. I think once we get the Lord Manor complete, we will call that our very first episode. Again, this is just kind of experimental. I hope that you enjoy this along the way with me. And it will be a learning experience for both of us. But as I play more, I will make sure to get some concise tips and tricks and guides and tutorials and all those things out for you all, so that you can start your settlements much more efficiently than mine. But seriously, it is important to sometimes just dive into a game that you know nothing about and have some fun along the way. It's easy to get bogged down in trying to do things as efficiently as possible and forget to just enjoy the gaming experience. Well, as that's completing, just remind me in the comments below if there's any recommendations that you have. Go ahead and put them out for me. Also, I think I have the ability to rename villagers here. Let's see. Yes, I can rename these folks. So, anyone who comments below, I will probably go through and go ahead and add you to our little village. So you can see yourself walking around, performing different jobs, all that sort of stuff. So make sure you leave me a comment, something simple, just saying hi, letting me know that you're here. And we will add you to our little kingdom. And I think we will just call this DG Town, plain and simple. I might do a few series, so we'll probably call this Season 1 of our playthrough. And once I get bored, or we've kind of gotten to a point where we feel like we've beaten the game, quotation marks, then we'll start a new season and play through, and it will probably go much more nicely after I have learned so much more about the game. But this playthrough will be quite experimental, so I'm sure we'll run into a few failures along the way. But there we go. We have our Lord Manor complete. Let's take a look at it in all of its glory. Beautiful, excellent. A little rain coming down, mist in the horizon. Just what a gorgeous setting. I really do enjoy this little city building game, and I love. You know, often everything is kind of locked into grids, and I really do love the more natural, organic feel of building this one, and the way the paths are created by people walking to and from their jobs. Just all of it is really quite wonderful and well laid out. So, thank you very much for joining me. Let's slow this down. There we go. Thank you very much for joining me. Again, I am Dissonance Gaming. This is kind of a relaxed playthrough, so just feel to join me when you like. And we will have fun playing through Foundation together. Don't forget to subscribe and like if you would like to see more content, and if you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much, and I will see you on our next one. Have a great rest of your day. This is Dissonance, signing off.